You reach into the fridge at midnight and you already know you shouldn't, but your hand moves anyway. Something pulls you toward that food with a force that feels almost impossible to resist, and no amount of willpower seems to be enough to stop it. You've been told it's weakness. You've been told it's laziness. You've been told that if you just tried a little harder, you could stop. But what if none of that is true? What if the real answer is far stranger and far older than anything you've ever been told? Your body is not broken. It is doing exactly what it was designed to do. The problem is that it was designed for a world that no longer exists. Go back, not decades, not centuries, hundreds of thousands of years back. Your ancestors woke up every morning with a single problem. Food might not come today, or tomorrow, or the day after that. There were no refrigerators, no grocery stores, no guaranteed meals. There was only the hunt, the harvest, and luck. In that world, the body that survived was not the leanest body. It was not the most disciplined body. It was the body that was best at storing energy for later. Fat is stored energy. Every gram of body fat contains roughly 9 calories of fuel, more than twice what protein or carbohydrate can hold. When food disappeared for days, that stored fat was the only thing standing between your ancestor and death. The bodies that were bad at storing fat died. The bodies that were efficient at it survived. They passed their genes on to their children, who passed them to their children, all the way down to you. You are the descendant of the world's most efficient fat-storing machines. That is not an insult. That is the reason you are alive. Researcher Herman Poncer at Duke University spent years studying the Hadza people of Tanzania, one of the last remaining hunter-gatherer populations on Earth. What he found shattered everything scientists thought they knew about metabolism. The Hadza walk miles every day. They hunt, they dig for tubers. They live exactly the kind of physically active life that modern people assume would make them lean and efficient. And yet, their total daily energy expenditure was nearly identical to that of sedentary office workers in the United States. Their bodies had adapted. When the Hadza moved more, their bodies compensated by burning less energy elsewhere, suppressing inflammation, reducing idle metabolic processes, conserving wherever possible. The body's goal was never to burn energy freely. Its goal was always to save it. Your body runs by the same operating system. Every time you eat more than you need, your body does not simply let that excess go. It converts it. It packages it. It stores it in fat cells distributed across your body, in your abdomen, your thighs, your liver, your muscle tissue, ready to be unlocked the moment food stops coming. And your brain is deeply involved in this process. The hypothalamus, a small but enormously powerful region deep inside your brain, monitors your fat stores constantly. It tracks a hormone called leptin, which fat cells release in proportion to how much fat you're carrying. When fat stores rise, leptin rises. When leptin rises, your hypothalamus tells your appetite to decrease and your metabolism to slightly increase. In theory, this sounds like a perfect self-regulating system. In practice, it breaks down in a world designed to overwhelm it. Jeffrey Friedman at Rockefeller University, who discovered leptin in 1994, described your body's weight regulation system as a thermostat, not a light switch. It does not respond to conscious decisions. It responds to biology, and biology moves slowly. When you lose weight quickly, your leptin levels fall faster than your brain expects. Your hypothalamus reads this as a crisis. It reads it as starvation, and it responds accordingly. Hunger intensifies. Cravings amplify. Your resting metabolic rate drops, sometimes by hundreds of calories per day. Your body begins defending its fat stores the way a fortress defends its walls. This is not a character flaw. This is your survival system doing its job perfectly. Researcher Rudolf Leibel at Columbia University demonstrated this in meticulous detail. Participants who lost just 10% of their body weight showed significant metabolic suppression. Their bodies burned meaningfully fewer calories than would be expected for someone of their new, lower weight. Their bodies were fighting to return to where they had been. The system was designed for scarcity. It has never been updated for abundance. Because here is what your ancient fat storage system never anticipated: a world where food is engineered to be irresistible. Modern processed food is not accidental. The combination of fat, sugar, and salt that dominates the modern diet was refined over decades specifically to hit the pleasure centers in your brain as hard as possible. Neuroscientist Kent Berridge at the University of Michigan has mapped what he calls the brain's wanting system, a dopamine-driven circuit that lights up in the presence of calorie-dense food, driving you to seek it before you've even tasted it. That system was designed to motivate your ancestors to pursue rare, calorie-dense foods, ripe fruit, fatty meat, honeycomb, foods that were hard to find and impossible to overeat in the wild. In a supermarket aisle, that same system has no off switch. Your brain sees a bag of chips and triggers the same ancient drive it would have triggered for a piece of honeycomb found once every 3 weeks. But the honeycomb was rare. The chips are infinite. And your fat storage system does not know the difference. Every time you eat beyond your immediate energy needs, the surplus gets converted to triglycerides and packed into fat cells. Those fat cells can expand to enormous sizes. When they reach capacity, your body simply creates more of them. What it cannot do, under normal circumstances, is delete them. Fat cells, once created, can shrink, but they rarely disappear entirely. They wait. Empty and deflated, they sit in your tissue sending chemical signals urging your body to fill them back up. This is part of why weight regain after dieting is so devastatingly common. The cells are still there, still hungry, still signaling. Your body treats fat stores with the same protective logic it would have used to guard a supply of dried meat through a 6-month winter. It does not give up that reserve easily, and this is where the real strangeness begins. Because your body does not only store fat to survive physical famine, it also responds to psychological stress the same way. Cortisol, the primary stress hormone, was designed to mobilize your body for immediate physical danger. In the short term, it burns energy. But in the long term, chronic cortisol elevation does something counterintuitive. It drives fat storage, particularly around the abdomen, where fat can be mobilized quickly in a crisis. Stress at work, a difficult relationship, financial anxiety. Your body processes all of it through the same ancient lens it used to process the threat of a predator. And it prepares accordingly by conserving, by storing, by fortifying its reserves. The modern world has not changed the system. It has only changed the threats. You are carrying a survival machine inside you that spent hundreds of thousands of years being fine-tuned in an environment of unpredictable scarcity. Every instinct it has, every craving, every metabolic compensation, every desperate grip on its fat reserves made perfect sense in that world. It still makes that same sense now. Your body doesn't know the famine isn't coming. It doesn't know the hunt is over. It only knows what it has always known. That stored energy is survival, and survival is everything. The next time you reach into the fridge at midnight and something pulls your hand toward the food, that something is ancient. That something has a name. It is not weakness. It is the reason you are here.